Despite the slight increase, inflation remains low, keeping hopes of another interest rate cut amid the uncertain economic outlook. Food and non-alcoholic beverages inflation decelerated slightly to 2.3% in January, down from 2.5% in December. Categories that recorded higher price changes were hot beverages, sugar, and fish. In the housing and utilities category, electricity, gas, and other fuels recorded the highest price change.
Big factor in this month's reading is food and non-alcoholic beverages. This is obviously a critical, essential commodity for everyone. Food inflation was at 2.3% in January. That was slightly down from the 2.5% in December. A bit of a mixed bag when we delve into the food basket. So, for example, meat is actually in deflationary territory, which means that we're now actually paying less overall for meat products than we were a year ago. That's at negative 0.5% year on year. Whereas if we look at the cereals products category, for example, bread and maize meal and the like, overall that went up by 3.8%, which was slightly higher than the December figure of 3.7%. But what we see is maize products in particular are very high. So, for example, maize meal increased by 4.8% just between December and January, which gives us an annual rate of increase for maize at 10.1%. Samp, which we know is also a maize product, actually is even higher at 15.4%. But on the other hand, bread prices actually dropped between December and January.
Economists say the low inflation environment will help boost consumer spending.
Consumer inflation increased marginally in January this year, but it remained quite low at just 3.2%. That is, of course, slightly lower than most people's wage increases or total income growth. And if we then think of your spending power in real or after inflation terms, then it suggests that there is more scope for consumers to purchase more and spend more in real or after inflation terms in the coming year. And this is then, of course, the key driver of our expectation that real consumer spending growth in the coming year will be slightly better than what was recorded last year. It is particularly noteworthy that food and fuel inflation remains quite benign, with food inflation just 1.5% on a year-on-year basis, and fuel inflation indeed still negative in January at minus 4.5%. So clearly some support and relief for SA consumers.
Economists say the low inflation environment and recent interest rate cuts should go a long way in boosting households' disposable income, bringing some relief from the high cost of living. Loras Sefakomosi, SABC News, Johannesburg.